गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय श्री गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Dear devotees, with the grace of the Bhagwan Sri Krishna, divine knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, and then blessings from the Guru Maharaj, almost after a 1 week gap, we are back in our Bhagavad Gita talk. Obviously, with the time, we need to be also adjust our situation. In the future, we need to think about it. The reason why this lockdown is not going to go away. Sorry, this load shedding. Lockdown magajma aayi gyu aaje have khabar nahi. Anyway, this load shedding is not going to go away. The reason why I mentioned khabar nahi, but it's giving me a feeling like lockdown. 2 years ago, I was the same story. I was doing front of the camera. But anyway, circumstances, situation is like that, which is we need to be rethink, readjust, redesign, reschedule our programs to accommodate our current situation. So that also churning going on in the mind, okay, bhai, what is the best things we can do it, which can help a maximum devotees in and on, means offline and online devotees. Let us try to understand today chapter number 4, verses number 14 and 15, which is Bhagwan Sri Krishna says, Nama karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mayo bijanati karma virna sabadhyate evam gnatva kritam karma purverapi mumukshabhi kuru karmeva tasmatvam purvahi purvataram kritam nama karmani limpanti. Bhagwan Sri Krishna says, Name karma phale spruha. So when I as an individual come as a human birth to perform the karma, those karma does not lipt means does not get affected to me. The reason why is I am not a karma binding personality. Karma cannot bind me. Karma cannot affect me. The one who understands this with the tattva means knowledge, essence of the karma, they will know me better. To know me better means to Bhagwan, not to me. Because one thing we must remember, one thing we cannot predict human brain. In the 15 number verses, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Evam Gnatva Krutam Karma Purverapi Mumukshavihi. Kuru Karameva Tasmatvam Purve Purvataram Krutam Ma. This is what our Purvaj means our past human people has performed them duties, and you also follow that duties, that karma. Now let us understand two things Bhagavan Sri Krishna is teaching us through this 14 and 15. One, the karma cycle. The first is karma cannot bind to us. But when cannot bind? So that is the question start when your self-interest is not in. While the Bhagavan Sri Krishna telling to the Arjun to do the war, what is the Bhagavan Sri Krishna's personal interest is? That's why Bhagavan Sri Krishna mentioned is a Purvavatah Krutam Purvaj. All the past people used to do the same thing too. Now, while we reading at the moment, for us is a Purvaj means the past people is between Krishna and Arjun and then war. So if we put ourselves into that situation, while our Krishna Bhagavan is telling Arjun ke Uttishta Kaunteya, that means do your duty. By telling that, what is Krishna Bhagavan's intention is behind it? Now, if we scrutinize that part in our life, when we going to advise somebody, so when we as an individual advising somebody about something, what is our intention behind it? That matters more than the karma itself. Krishna Bhagavan giving advice to the Arjun because somebody might say Krishna Bhagavan want Hastinapur. Somebody might say Krishna Bhagavan wanted to prove himself that he is the flag hoister of the dharma. Somebody might say Krishna Bhagavan wanted to empower the Arjun and then get the credit by sitting on the back chair. Somebody might say Krishna Bhagavan wanted glory but not to coming in the front by using the Arjun. Somebody might say Krishna Bhagavan fired the bullet by holding the gun on Arjun's shoulder. Somebody might say Krishna Bhagavan did everything because Arjun was his son. If we put that things in our list, that means Krishna Bhagavan's personal interest. If any above reasons are behind it, because we human think like that. If someone is helping somebody, then we think what that person is going to get out of it. What is his or her interest behind it? That's why Krishna Bhagavan has mentioned Purve Purvataram Krutam. Olden days I am mentioning, there was one king. So he has done his daughter wedding into the far distance kings with the king's son. And then they gave them daughter hand into that son. Nice wedding. After a month or years later, from that kingdom, somebody went into that another kingdom just to visit, nothing else. It's not that for any benefit or something, just okay, like as we travel, so travels went. Now, as soon as that person reached to that kingdom, he has come to know that there's some function happening into the palace. Okay, let's go into the palace. They went in the palace. See the princess, for them is a princess. Looking sad. What happened? So he said, there was an invitation sent out to the princess' father, but nobody came as a Mosadu from a Mosada side, whatsoever reason, but that's why princess is looking a little bit sad. That person went there into the assembly of the king. I am coming from that kingdom and I am a Mosadu. So king says, okay, you came as a Mosada, okay, what you have brought into the Mosadu? He says, my king has given you 2 last border village to you. The smile came on the princess' face. This is all happens without knowledge of the king at all. Okay. What is guaranteed that what you are saying is truth? Is any written document? Then he said, my king didn't knew that you want a written document than the verbal commitment. In those days, the verbal commitment was more powerful than the written document. A word means word, that's it. Today, word means nothing. This morning I said, I'm coming 9 o'clock and then we will see only 10 days later 9 o'clock. Honesty has no more exist. No problem. King says, I'm going to send my 2 sipai to double check this. Do it. Confidence I'm talking about. That person has so much confidence on his word that irrespective, no matter how much scrutiny happen, things will come. Anyway, 2 sipai went to the last 2 village. We are here to take over these 2 village based on your king word. Now those village in charge, from where this story is coming now? Who said so? Now there is somebody there in a Mosadu, came as a Mosadu and he said this 2 village belongs to this king. Okay, no problem, belongs to you, finish, done. If that person, nobody knows each other anything. Who that person, who is, okay, his person said as a Mosadu, done, finish, yours. Far distance kings enjoying his life knows nothing. After everything is over, the respect of the princess on and everything, celebrations over, then now the person went back. He said, now what must I do? I did whatever I could have done, but now is what? No problem. He went to his father, old father. He said, this is what I have done, what must I do? He says, trust your king, go to the king and speak what you did. He went to the king assembly, he said, this is what I have done. King says, thank you very much. You have kept my respect in other kingdom. I am giving you 10 more village. That much power ordinary person can feel. That much power, that much respect ordinary person can earn when we have the meaning of the word. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna says is karma. What was that person's interest in by saying, doing all those things is no personal interest, nothing. Only the interest was my kingdom come first. I am not going to allow my kingdom respect to go down. That's the only interest, nothing else. And that is what king understood, that you never allow my kingdom to go down. Now is my duty to give you an appropriate reward. Karma is like that. Karma binding. Lipta Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, that when we perform the karma, our personal involvement should be zero. Personal involvement means that you can be physically involved, you can be ideologically involved, you can be technically involved, you can be psychologically involved, you can be strategically involved, you can be mentally involved, but you cannot involve yourself emotionally. Emotionally means that what is my benefit out of it? That is called the emotional involvement. If I am doing these things, what I am going to get out of it? And that's where the karma binding cycle start out of. The moment we start thinking what I am going to get. Now, imagine now if that person which I mentioned about it, if that person has thought about in his mind, oh, if I am going to do, what I am going to get? Oh, my king will get angry, he will give me a harsher punishment, because we are more negative towards the kingdom than the positive. That's a human brain. Oh, the king will not get happy with, maybe if the king want to give 10 villages, maybe king want to give more than that, and then king will be unhappy with me. All those doubt starts in our brain. And then what? Person does nothing. Because as soon as person put himself emotionally in, what will be happen to me if I do this? Now, that person says, no matter what happened to me, it's not my problem. My nation come first, my kingdom come first, and that's it. Outcome is I'm not worried about at all. Krishna Bhagavan says that outcome is not worried about. Arjun, you mustn't worry about the outcome. Your dharma come first, that's it. Now because Arjun is thinking, what will happen to my ancestor, what will happen to me, what will happen to my glory, that's why you're in a dilemma. That's why you're sitting into the middle of that, and that is why you decided not to fight. Fear. As soon as we start putting our emotions into, okay, as I mentioned about, strategically you involve discussion, you involve yourself physically, you involve yourself mentally, you involve everything, but don't involve yourself emotionally. Very important part. Because emotion stops us. Because our emotions in these days, Kali-Yuga time, very difficult emotions. Imagine now, if Arjun in Satyuga time was in in the Dwapar Yuga time, was in this state of the mind, when then Bhagavan himself was next to him, what is the situation we don't even have anybody with us. How deeply negative human brain we are at this stage. Whether Arjuna had a Bhagavan next to him, Arjuna was knew that this is a Bhagavan. Arjuna was fully aware that this is a supreme power next to me. Yet Arjuna in this state of the mind, imagine now what is the we are. Who we are. Because as soon as we put our emotions in, Arjuna has put emotions in, he forgot about that Bhagavan is next to him. He forgot about his knowledge, he forgot about his skill, he forgot about his power, he forgot about who is he. He only thought emotional. Subject is emotions. Emotion something which is create a karma binding. Because we think, okay, what will happen if I will do this? What will happen if I will do this? What will happen if I do that? What will happen if I do that? Why? Because I am doing it. Who is the I am? Your emotion is telling I am. But other side, you are nothing. And if someone says I am something, then I will say, go back yourself in 2020 lockdown. I'm telling you, go back yourself in 2020 lockdown, you will say who you are. One step out from your doorstep, you could not even put your one step out from your door. In 2020, now you say, I'm something. We are nothing. Front of this universe, we are nothing. Remember. And let me tell you, today, if tomorrow government says that there is an outbreak and we are in lockdown level number 5, finish. Next 6 months, you're not going to see anybody face out of the house. I'm telling you, as soon as one declaration comes, 5 number finished, we worried about the number 5. So, it's something which is, we need to think ourselves. Who I am? We are nothing. But then we think, I am the one who is doing. I am the one who is doing because we have put our emotions into the karma. And that is why we think, because I am doing, that is why everything is happening. Are Bhagwan, muki do na bapa. Hachu કહું છું. Krishna Bhagwan says, Arjun, if you thinking if you're not going to fight, then this war is not going to be happen, then thank you very much. Get out from this war and then being the witness of the war, see what will happen. Certain things are irrelevant to think because certain things are inevitable to stop. In our life, we always trying to stop the things which is we think ke bhai, let's avoid it, let's avoid it, let's avoid it. But remember, in the karma cycle is more you delay, you will face it very difficult. Because every 1 year you delay the things, you 1 year getting older. Physically, mentally, emotionally, you getting older. Imagine what you can face it at the age of the 45 or age of the 42 or age of the 32, physically, mentally. Imagine if the 20 years later, if you have to face same things in age of the 65 or 70, you will be finished by then. And this is what happened. We say, we'll cross the bridge when we're going to reach it. But when you reach the crossing the bridge, you are 65-year-old, 70-year-old. That time, the small bridge is going to look very big for you. Really, cycle, karma is something which is, we mustn't avoid it. We mustn't even delay it. If you have to face it, you must face it, irrespective what. And be honest towards yourself. Be honest, because you don't have to show your honesty towards anybody else. You have to show your honesty towards yourself, not to anybody else. Problem is, we all of us know internally who we are, but we just don't want to show externally who we are. While Bhagwan Sri Krishna says, my life is mirror. Whatever I am inside, that exactly I am outside. So you don't have to look me anywhere else, you look me everywhere But the problem is, we look the Bhagavan with our spectacles, with our glasses. We think about the Bhagavan, that can be the way we are, similarly we think about the Bhagavan. Now, that's why I put that 10 point. If someone asks us the question, why Krishna Bhagavan has to fight, why Krishna Bhagavan has to encourage Arjun for the war, then we will give a 10 reason. These are the 10 reasons it could be. Because we think Krishna Bhagavan is think like that. While the Krishna Bhagavan says, my intention is yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Okay, bhai, as soon as you forgot your duties, your karma cycle, your duties, your dharma, I am there to remind you. That's it, my intention, nothing else. And those all who stand in front of you, Arjun, irrespective how literate person, how educated person, how respectable person, they all forgot them duties. That is why I am in your favor. Nothing else. I have no other reason. They all forgot. Either you mention Bhishma Pitama, you mention Dronacharya, you mention Krupacharya, you mention Duryodhana, you mention anybody, including Karna, the son of the Putra, Surya Narayan, Surya Putra, God of the sun, including himself has forgot his duty, so he must face consequences, no problem. That is my intention behind it, to put the dharma first, nothing else. While we as a human, we think, now Krishna Bhagavan must have something else. His eyes was on Hastinapur. આ કળિયુગ છે ભાઈ. People can think that way, honestly. That is why Bhagavan says, I will not make a mistake which I have made it in a Ramayana time as a Ram avatar. Where the Sita Mata has to go through the difficult time to prove herself that she is innocent. And yet after that too, look at this, our human, even Bhagavan Sri Ram was present there. Look at this human brain. After all those things, we welcome the Bhagavan Sri Ram like grand welcome, and 15-20 days later, we're talking behind him. Oh man, something must have. Look this doubtful nature, man. We know he's a Bhagavan. He killed a Ravan. Why you guys even can't do anything? He has killed the Ravan as like giant, the Rakshas. And then what we talking about behind him? Oh no. Something is not right. What type of the human we are? If the Bhagavan has to go through that phase, the imagine now Bhagavan is not here. And that is why everybody is behind us talk. Nobody have a guts to talk front of us. And I always say, talk front of us. The reason why is, if somebody has to correct is ourselves. And we must start that practice in our life. If we want somebody to get corrected, we must tell the person to correct it. Maybe they don't like it. They will not talk to us, it's good. But only I did my duty. If we think, and otherwise, if we want to keep quiet, better to keep quiet. But don't talk about the person behind him or her. If we cannot talk to the person who we want to get corrected, then we have no rights to talk about the person, about him or her to somebody else. We have no moral right. Dharma is a morality. Honestly. This is the first lesson we should learn in our life. What is your moral rights? Leave the human rights. We run behind my human rights, my nation rights, my country rights, and my job rights, and my this right, and phalana right, and digna rights. Under those rights, we're stealing the cables and people are living in the dark. Under those lights, there is no, Hare Vaat Javado man. We are in a load shedding and we are in a lockdown. We are. Because of those rights, but what is rights we talking about? Those rights is not right. There's the right things which is supposed to be. We do moral rights. Dharma teach us a moral rights. Our moral rights should be a powerful. We must listen internal. What is your heart is telling you? Two things. The day you decide to go to the mandir, your heart will not stop you. Heart will say, thank you very much. Go, enjoy it. You take the car out, park outside, close the door. Heart is very powerful. Going to the mandir, sing Bhagwan. Sit in the car, coming to the robot, green light, heart is powerful. And then finally you decide to, instead of turning the right, let me turn left, go to the casino. Your car is going casino, your body is going to the casino, but your heart is saying, hey Bhagavan, aane hu karyu? It's taking me somewhere else which is not supposed to be. And your heart is broken. Now with your heart broken, you're going to the casino. You're supposed to put 10 rand into the arthi. Now you're putting that 10 rand in a machine. Boom. With the broken heart, you lose the 10 rand. Now, okay, let me cover my 10 rand. You put another 10 rand. Because your heart is broken, you lose another 10. Okay, let me put another 100. Your heart is broken, you put 100, lost it. By the time with broken heart, you lose 1,000 rand. Finally, you come home, I lost my 1,000 rand. It's worth it to put the 10 rand in an arti and with happy heart. Because your heart will not tell you put the 20 rand, only 10 rand, finished, done. Because your heart wants to see the Bhagwan, not a 10 rand. But your broken heart wants to see the machine must give you a 20,000 one night. And you lose the 1,000 rand. Honestly. Morality is something which we must try to understand. We have forgot about it. Evam gnatva kudam karama purverapi mumukshbihi. Mumukshi. Gnani. Knowledgeable person. Who is the knowledgeable person? The person who have a knowledge. What is his sign about it? Who got the knowledge? The beauty part is very difficult for us to predict and judge who is the knowledgeable and who is not the knowledgeable. When it's come to the spirituality, I'm not talking about the materialistically. Materialistically, if you go to the garage and then said, okay, my car is not right, and then it's the moment the person will hold the spanner in the hand, you said, okay, now this person is not knowledgeable. I'm telling you. Technical institutions, when you go learning, in any academy, but I'm technically, because I went for a while, that's why I can tell you. The teachers, those who teaching this technical knowledge, they first will teach you how to hold the all this toolbox, in the toolbox at all this. How to hold the spanner, for example. How to hold the screwdriver, for example. How to hold the pliers. You have a technique. If you don't know how to hold it properly, you cut your finger, you cut your everything. You need to know how to hold it when you cut the cable. I'm talking about when you use that appliances in the life. And that's where your skill, knowledge will come into the action. The moment you hold that things in your hand and the knowledgeable person will say, okay, thank you very much. I know who you are. If the writer want to write the book, the moment he hold the pen in his hand, the knowledgeable writer will say, okay, now 110%. This is right. Any field you go, the moment if you are a knowledgeable person and if the other person knows that skill, the moment you start, if you are a speaker, and the moment you start giving your speech, and if in the 1,000 people, the one knowledgeable person who is the speaker, and then he will judge, he or she will judge straight away what type of the speaker you are. From one word, from one essence, from one style, okay, this is a learned speaker, this is a learning speaker, this is an arrogant speaker, and this is a dangerous speaker. These speakers cannot be in these positions. The moment you start, any field you go, in the kitchen too. Hachu tamne. Ladies will tell you, the moment you hold a teaspoon and put the salt into the food, your mother-in-law will say, okay, what your mother has taught you, I can tell you now. First day, the daughter-in-law cooking in the house, mother-in-law is looking. Okay, do beta vaghar. Olden days used to like that. Today it's not like that, but do beta vaghar. And now my daughter-in-law fearful, because now I want to see how the vaghar can happen. Although she knows how to do the vaghar, but now, like if someone watching you like this, then you are in a trouble. Okay, she's holding the kadai in the hand, put it on the fire and put the oil. Okay, you putting oil like this. Allah mukwa dene bapa, jevi rite muki. Okay. Little bit rye in and marchu in. The beauty part is, mother-in-law knows sometime daughter-in-law doing best job, supposed to be, but now here is ego battle comes. If I am going to praise her, then very first day she will take over my kitchen, she will take over me. Your mother didn't teach you. What? Beta, you're supposed to be put this oil this way. Allah book, as long as the oil is supposed to go in, not this way or that way. But you want to prove yourself, you are the right. That is why you're not going to understand somebody else's point of view. Subject I'm talking here is knowledge. Knowledge is two-way work. If you misuse and abuse your power as a knowledge, then you create the conflict in the family as kitchen conflict. Like Ukraine-Russia war. Always, kitchen conflict is always problematic. But if there is a mutual understanding, agreement, moral agreement between two parties, very same kitchen has become a temple in the house. Gujarati always say rasoda ma vahan khakhde. But if there is a moral understanding, vasan to khakhde, but that happiness vasan khakhde. Sorry. Vasan to always khakhadwana hai. But that the sound which will come out from that khakhadela vasan, it will be the happy sound. Moral understanding. Karma involvement is like that. Who I am. And best advice if somebody is watching me, and then if they are welcoming new daughter-in-law in the house, The best advice I always give to everybody, as soon as daughter-in-law come in the house, mother-in-law should leave the kitchen. Honestly, I'm this best things I can advise you. The reason why is, you inviting a person, you welcoming a person, you have made that person a part of your life. Now imagine if your daughter-in-law, 27-year-old, she has spent 27 years of the life in the different environment, different freedom, different lifestyle. You need to give that space to that daughter-in-law, that freedom, at least 3 years minimum, and say, enjoy it, your life. And I'm telling you, if you do like that, your house will be the swarg. But from day first, if you put your chanchupat in, then you can imagine now, vasan to khakadwana છે. Krishna Bhagavan is teaching this kind of the stories to us. While this topic came up, that's why I'm saying karma involvement. What is your involvement into the karma? What you want to achieve, what you want to get it, that is a very important. It's not what is going to be outcome. What you want to achieve. You want to prove yourself in the house, that I am the superior, I am the key holder. Then the conflict will start. But if you want to say, okay, thank you very much, I am done, I have done what could I have done, now is your turn. So then the world is different. All conflict happen in our houses, in our life, in our friendship, everywhere. It's just because what is your involvement into it? What is your emotional involvement? You just want to prove yourself that you are the right. That's it. Instead of the proving yourself right, rather than prove yourself morally right. If you are a morally right person, then there will be no problem into the life. But if you leave your moral out, your emotions in, and then you're asking the trouble for everything. I'm honestly saying, in the office, leave the kitchen out, now coming to the office. Obviously, there is one boss in the office, the 4 people working under him. Now boss is boss. He sits in the office and watching this, what is monkey drama happening here. Now these 4 monkeys sitting on the table, they can't go along together, but somehow they have to work together. All 4 monkeys are opposite each other, nature-wise. But they tie with the one rope, which is another big monkey sitting in the office, and telling monkey A do that, monkey B do. I'm using this way. But if all 4 monkeys decide, we're not going to become a battlefield of the 5th monkey, then I'm telling you, that 5th monkey sitting in the office can't do anything of it. Because you productive, you leave your personal interest out, just think about the company, think about your duties, do it your job, and that's it. As soon as you do it your job and responsibility, and then all 4 monkey work together on one desk, okay, after you leave office, you become a monkey the way you are. But while you are here, if you all have a mutual agreement, moral agreement, then the 5th monkey sitting in the office will scratch his head. Why this fighting is not happening? Why this drama is not happening? Office is something like is becoming a battlefield in these days. The reason why is, everybody is using each other because everybody want to prove themselves. Oh, I want to become a manager. And none of them become a manager because the manager, 5th monkey sitting, don't want to leave his office. So he will make sure that none of this monkey will come into that office, because he has to vacate his office. But if you, these 4 monkeys sitting in the table, decide, okay, now one of us will go in that office. So that monkey can't do anything. Anywhere you go, in the family, brothers, sisters, friends, the moment you put your personal interest out and put the family interest first, I'm the head of the family, I have to keep my moral responsibility to keep my family together. And then little sacrifice will mean nothing for you. But if you think I'm head of the family, when I walk into the house, everybody must stand up and then must be giving me respect. And then the little conflict will become issue. You did not put this table like this. You did not put that pen like this. Are bapa mukne yaar ave. તેલ વાળું થયું, ટેબલ એનું કામ છે, પેન એનું કામ છે, મૂકને હું ટેન્શન લઈને બેઠેલા છું. સાચું તમને કહું. Our household is like that. We all of us want to put our authority, but we don't want to become responsible towards our own house. We don't want to become responsible towards our own company. We don't want to become responsible towards our own life. Don't want to become responsible towards our own nation. Moral responsibility. That is why we all are sitting in the situation where karma binding is happening. Karma siddhant is happening. Your karma is binding you because you want to prove yourself that you are the powerful than anybody else. Well, the Krishna Bhagavan says, I am the powerful, but I'm the powerful, but I'm riding the horses. And I'm telling somebody else, please do it your job. Well, I can do it the same job within a second. It will not take me more than 10 seconds to finish everything. But why must I do it? It's not my duty. Those who want to fight for the dharma, they must fight for the dharma themselves. They are the one who have suffered them life, so they must fight for the morally dharma. We all of us must be responsible for our own karma. Nobody else can tell us our karma. But when we have a moral responsibility towards everything, not anything else. The day we are going to learn our moral responsibility, nothing can stop us. Otherwise, the moment we keep our moral responsibility away, everything will start, and then 4 monkeys will fight and 5th one will be enjoy whole life. Remember this story. And next week, Monday, we are going to talk about another monkey and lion. Stay safe. We'll do the arti just now. O Ishwar vachiye tane motu che tujhe naam gun tara nitya gaiye thaya amara kaam हे तला विहसाव तुम सदा राख दिल साफ फूल कदी करिए हमें तो प्रभु कर जो. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय श्री गोविंदाय नमो नमः. We will do the आरती now. सांझ पड़े दिन याथ में चकवा चकवीरो चलो चकवा क्या जय सांझ पड़े मत रोय. गौरी पूछे गोरिया कौन भले रो देश संपत होय तो घर भला नहीं तो भलो परदेश. तिमिर गयो रवि देख कुबुद्धि गई गुरु ज्ञान संपत गई अति लोभ से भक्ति गई अभिमान. अभिमानी कुंजर भयो लियो अपने सिर भार ताके जमरा कूट से जम लोडू गड़े लुहार. श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। ओम जय कान्हा काला प्रभु जय कान्हा काला मीठी मोरली वाला मीठी मोरली वाला गोपीना प्यारा। ओम जय कान्हा काला कामण गारा कान कामण बहु गीता प्रभु कामण बहु गीता माखन चोरी मोहन माखन चोरी मोहन चित चोरी लीला। ओम जय कान्हा काला नंद यशोदा वैकुंठयुता वैकुंठयुतार्यो कालियामर्दन कीधु कालियामर्दन कीधु गायो ने चारी। ओम जय कान्हा काला गुणतना तुझ पार के में नहीं आवे प्रभु के में नहीं आवे। नेति वेद पुकार नेति वेद पुकार पुनीत सुंगावे। ओम जय कान्हा काला ओम जय कान्हा काला प्रभु जय कान्हा काला मीठी मोरली वाला मीठी मोरली वाला गोपीना प्यारा। ओम जय कान्हा काला ओम जय कान्हा काला ओम जय कान्हा काला। कपूर गौरम करुणावतारम संसारसारम भुजगेन्द्रहारम सदा वसंतम हृदयारविंदे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय तनोहरि सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते। श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। जलेन शुक्लीकरणं कुर्यात् देवतानामभिवन्दनं स्थापितदेवताभ्यो नमः। निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि निराञ्जनं समर्पयामि। आरार्तिक्यम् आरार्तिक्यम् आरार्तिक्यं समर्पयामि। यश आरोग्य प्राप्ति अर्थे स्वात्मानामभिवन्दनं पात्रात् वैः हस्तं प्रक्षाल्य। श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपाळु भजमहरन भवभयदारुणं नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपदकञ्जारुणं कन्दर्पयगणित अमितछविनवनीलनीरजसुन्दर पटपीतमानौ तडितरुचिशुचिनौमि जनकसुतावरं शिरमुकुटकुण्डलतिलकचारुदार अङ्गविभूषणम् आजानुभुजशरचापधरु सङ्ग्रामजितखरदूषणं भज दीनबन्धुदिने सदानवदैत्यवंशनिकन्दनं रघुनन्दयानन्दकन्दकौशल चन्द्रदशरथनन्दनम् इति वदित तुलसीदास शङ्कर शेषमुनिमनरञ्जन मम हृदय कुञ्ज निवास कुरु कामादिखलदलरञ्जन। सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। गणपति महाराज की
विघ्नेश्वराय वरदाय सुरप्रियाय लंबोदराय सकलाय जगद्वित् नागाननाय श्रुतियज्ञविभूषिताय गौरीसुताय गणनाथ नमो नमस्ते। गणपति महाराज की जय। उमापति महादेव की। श्मशानेष्वा क्रीडा स्मरहर पिशाचा सहचरा श्चिताभस्मालेपं सृगपिनुकरोटी परिकरम् अमङ्गल्यं शीलं तव भवतु नामेवमखिलं तथापि स्मर्तॄणां वरद परमं मङ्गलमसि। उमापति महादेव। राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की। बालकृष्ण भगवान की जय। शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। आकाशात् पतितं योऽयं यथा गच्छति सागरं सर्वदेवो नमस्कारं केशवं प्रति गच्छति। मुखं करोति वाचा भङ्गुलङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्वमहं वन्दे परमानन्दममाधवम्। त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेवं। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरं गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे। असदगिरिसमं स्यात् कज्जलं सिन्धुपात्रे सुरतरुवर्षाखा लेखनीपत् लिखति अधिगृहीत्वां शारदा सर्वकालं तरविति तव गुणानां मीशपारम्। राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। जय 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 जगदम्बे आद्य शक्ति भवानी माँ अम्बे मात की। नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः। नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियतां प्रणताः स्मतां विद्युद्दाम समप्रभां मृगपतिं स्कन्धस्थितां कन्याभिकरवालखेटविलसहस्ताभिराः सेवितां हस्तैश्चक्रधरालिखेटविशिखांश्चापं गुणां तर्जनीं बिभ्राणां मण्डलात्मिकां शशिधरां दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे। दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे। अम्बे मात की जय। आशापुरी मात की जय। महालक्ष्मी मात की जय। राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। बालकृष्ण भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव गणपति महाराज की जय। ओम नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव हर। ओम नमस्ते अमारा अहो प्राणदाता नमस्ते अमारा पिता माता भ्राता नमस्ते महादेव जोड़ित व्यास्ते नमस्ते प्रभु जी नमस्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते। जय श्री कृष्ण।